my friend. Listen closely. Because what I'm about to tell you can change the next 10 years of your life. Right now, you may feel disconnected from God. You may pray, but still feel alone. You may meditate, but still feel nothing. You may whisper to the universe, but hear no reply. But here is the truth Yogananda revealed. God is already closer to you than your own breath, and the only thing missing is your awareness. For the next 1 hour, I will guide you into a state where you don't just believe in God, you feel God. You experience God. You recognize God in small moments, big moments, silent moments, and everyday life. And by the end of this video, you will never feel spiritually alone again. So stay with me until the end. Because one line in this video may shift your entire spiritual journey. Before we begin, if you feel connected to this kind of deep spiritual content from the teachings of Paramhansa Yogananda, please take a second to subscribe to Inner Divine. It helps this message reach millions. Also, tell me in the comments, what does God's presence feel like to you? Or, what are you searching for spiritually right now? Your words may inspire someone else on their journey. Now, let's begin our 1-hour journey into feeling God's presence every single day. Most people think God is somewhere far away. In the heavens, in the skies, in some distant paradise. But Yogananda said something revolutionary. God is nearer than the nearest, dearer than the dearest. This means God is present in this very moment. Right now. Where you are sitting. Where you are breathing. Where your heart is beating. You don't need to climb a mountain to find God. You don't need to go to a temple to feel God. You don't need to wait for a miracle to know God. God is already here. Present, silent, loving, watching, guiding, breathing with you. Imagine someone standing behind you with infinite love, waiting for you to simply notice. That is God. Why most people can't feel God? Here's the truth many people never hear. You don't feel God. Not because God is absent, but because the noise inside you is too loud. Noise from the past, noise from fear. Noise from emotions you never healed. Noise from expectations. Noise from anxiety. Noise from a restless mind. Yogananda used to say that the mind is like a lake. If the water is disturbed, you cannot see your reflection. But when the water becomes still, the reflection appears clearly. The same is true for God. When your inner lake becomes calm, even for a few moments, God's presence shines through, like a reflection in pure water. So today, we will learn the art of calming that inner lake. Life in the modern world moves at a speed that disconnects you from your soul. You wake up, check your phone, scroll, rush, think, worry, work, compare, repeat. But God cannot be felt when your life moves too fast. Yogananda said, be calmly active and actively calm. This means move through life with a centered heart. So take a breath right now. A slow breath. Feel the air enter your lungs. Feel your chest expand. Feel your shoulders drop. Right there, in that one calm breath, you moved 1 inch closer to God. Every time you slow down, your awareness opens, and God becomes easier to feel. God speaks through silence. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is God's language. Most people pray by talking. But Yogananda said the real prayer is learning to listen. In silence, God's whisper becomes clear. A guidance, a feeling, a knowing, a sudden sense of peace. A subtle pull toward the right decision, a soft voice in your intuition saying, "This is the way." Spend just a few minutes in silence each day. And you will begin to feel God. Not as a theory, but as a presence. Some try to find God with the mind. But God is not an idea. God is not a concept. God is not a theory to be analyzed. God is a presence. That is felt, in the heart. The heart is the doorway to divine connection. When you feel gratitude, you open the door. When you feel love, you open the door. When you forgive, you open the door. When you show kindness, you open the door. God flows through the heart. Like light through an open window. You don't have to try hard. You only have to open the window. How to feel God through breath. Your breath is the most sacred bridge between your body and your soul. Yogananda taught that every breath carries divine energy. When you breathe unconsciously, you miss this sacred connection. But when you breathe with awareness, God's presence becomes palpable. Let's try this together. Take a slow breath in. And imagine peace entering your body. Exhale slowly, and imagine God removing all heaviness. Again. Slow inhale. Feel God filling your heart. Slow exhale, release all tension, all fear, all doubt. In these gentle breaths, God begins to touch you, from the inside. God in daily life. Feeling God is not only a meditation experience. It is a daily experience. You can feel God in the morning sunlight, in the wind that touches your face, in the kindness of a stranger, in the laughter of someone you love, in the silence after a long day, in the calmness of night, in the blessings you didn't notice, in the challenges that shaped you. God is woven into the fabric of your everyday life. The more you pay attention, the more you see that God has been walking with you all along. Yogananda said, "The greatest way to feel God is to remember Him often." Just a simple remembrance changes your vibration. When you're driving, remember God. When you're cooking, remember God. When you're working, remember God. When you're walking, remember God. When you're grateful, remember God. When you're hurt, remember God. This remembrance creates a magnetic field around your heart. And into that magnetic field, God's presence flows easily. God is love. And whenever you express true love, you step into God's presence. Love without expectation. Love without ego. Love without fear. Love without calculation. Every simple act of love connects you to the divine. Love is God's signature. Whenever you feel love, you feel God. God is experienced in stillness. In deep stillness, the divine presence becomes unmistakable. Stillness is the doorway to the soul. When you sit quietly, without trying, without forcing, without expecting, God enters your awareness. Like a soft dawn breaking through the dark. In stillness, you don't chase God. You invite God. You don't push the mind. You allow the mind to soften. You don't search outside. You turn inward. And in that inward turning, you discover that God has been inside you all along. The inner divine experience. The moment you close your eyes and feel a warm presence, that is God. The moment you feel unexplainable peace, that is God. The moment your heart expands for no reason, that is God. The moment you forgive when you could have stayed angry, that is God. The moment you feel guided without logic, that is God. The divine is not far. The divine is not silent. The divine is not hidden. You are simply learning how to recognize the signs. God is experienced as peace. You may not see God with your physical eyes. You may not hear God with your ears. But you can feel God as peace. A peace that comes in the middle of chaos. A peace that appears when you surrender your fear. A peace that enters when you trust the process. Whenever peace enters unexpectedly, you have felt God. Yogananda said, that intuition is the direct voice of God. That sudden knowing. That inner guidance. That inner warning. That inner confirmation. That inner direction. That inner clarity. Every time you follow your intuition, you are following God's personal guidance for your life. When you feel gratitude, your heart expands and becomes a magnet for divine energy. Gratitude is the fastest way to feel God. The moment you say, thank you, with sincerity, God becomes present as a warm inner glow. Living with God daily. When you begin to feel God each day, your life transforms. Your actions become calmer. Your mind becomes lighter. Your decisions become clearer. Your relationships become deeper. Your purpose becomes brighter. Because you are no longer living alone. You are living with God. Right now, take a slow breath. Feel the presence of God. Around you, within you. Above you, below you, surrounding you. Say in your heart, God, I am yours, guide me. Stay with me, walk with me. Flow through me. And know, you are heard. You are loved. And you are never alone. If this 1-hour journey helped you feel God's presence, please subscribe to Inner Divine for more deep spiritual teachings from Paramhansa Yogananda. Like this video so more people can find it. Comment below. I feel God's presence. And remember, every day you are held by the infinite divine.